So we're just going to start at the beginning here. Like I said, unless you guys have been living under a rock, I'm certain that you've seen something to do with this before. Do you remember back in 2020 when there were all these Black Lives Matter protests, and it happened all over the country? There was a gentleman by the name of George Floyd who died of a drug overdose, but it looked an awful lot on video like he was killed by the police. Well, the Democrats ran with it, and their base decided to burn down the country for it. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, just right into it. Screw it. This is CNN, and this is them a few years ago discussing the the protests that were raging across the country. So let's just talk about it. Well, give it a chance to load. I mean, my computer's kind of crap, and I'm running an awful lot on it. So, oh man!
Protests over the death of George Floyd spread from coast to coast on Saturday and spilled over into the morning.
I want to be able to go in a white neighborhood and feel safe. I want to be able, when a cop is driving behind me, I don't have to clench and be tense, okay?
Hot take, it is not the white neighborhood that is unsafe, and we all know it. You know that, sir. Also, what is this? Do you have 2 eye patches that you don't need? What's going on?
I want to be able just to be free and not have to think about every step I take.
Authorities responded to a fifth
get out of the hood.
protest,
I don't know which
while
one.
At least 25 cities across the U.S.
All right, check it. Minneapolis, Atlanta, Denver, Oakland
enacted curfews. Peaceful protests took place, as well as acts of vandalism in cities large and small.
Yeah, we all remember. Mostly peaceful. Mostly
National
peaceful.
Guard forces to assist their cities.
Yeah.
There was a scuffle in Times Square when several New York City police officers in helmets took down.
See, this is the first time they called Trump a fascist for sending the National Guard in to help with these fucking riots.
A protest.
Mostly because the local police force would refuse to do anything about it, either willfully or just because their orders were to do nothing about it. I mean, I don't blame all the police officers, but there are certainly some that are complicit in just letting this shit happen.
To effect an arrest, and an NYPD vehicle could be seen burning near Union Square. In another incident, an NYPD vehicle appeared to drive into a railing blocking protesters after items were hurled at the car. At least 3. The Minnesota National.
Tell me a reason why you would need to throw bricks at a police car. Just being honest, why? Even if he was killed by why? Why throw bricks at random police cars? Oh, I know, because you're fomenting violence in this country. Yeah, no, I know.
The Guard had more than 4,100 citizen soldiers and airmen responding to the Twin Cities, according to a tweet from the Guard.
Mm-hmm.
The tweet said over 10,000 National Guard members are expected to join the response. A group of protesters who were marching from Minneapolis to St. Paul tried to cross the Lake Street Marshall Bridge, but were met with tear gas. Protesters could be seen running back in the direction that they came from. CNN's Miguel Marquez nearby as protesters held their...
I mean, non-lethal crowd control really works. And again, this happened a long time ago, so I don't have... I'm just going to spoil things because why not, right? This happened so frequently that there were whole, city blocks, and we're going to talk about it later, but there was whole city blocks that were just, cordoned off, and they wanted to, secede from the Union kind of as a whole, as though they're even really allowed to do that. But yeah, no, I mean it's been bad. There were cities that were burned down. There were many police cars. There have been many businesses and people that have fled certain states for other states, specifically because of these protests. And it got bad for a long time. I mean, they would block the road and just refuse to let traffic progress, and I'm fairly certain it's illegal to block a major highway like that. Now, people were stopping because they don't want to run people over, and the general people in society are good people, regardless of the amount of retards that continue to show themselves on the internet right now. Okay, let's continue.
People shot off fireworks. Law enforcement let off tear gas, and the crowd scattered. Cars were set on fire in Los Angeles, Seattle, and Miami. Members of the California National Guard were deployed to L.A. to support law enforcement authorities amid protests, Mayor Eric Garcetti said in a statement to CNN. One demonstration in Los Angeles led to clashes between police and protesters. Police vehicles were vandalized by some protesters who kicked in the windows or sprayed the cars with graffiti. Police fired rubber bullets at demonstrators who chanted "Black Lives Matter" and George Floyd. Looting could also be seen as protesters went under a metal gate inside a store and walked out with various merchandise in Los Angeles. There was also
See, if you guys have been paying attention to my last stream, which was incorrectly named, and I apologize for that, but on my last stream, I covered the downfall of California and how it's basically just fucked all to hell. Like, California is it sucks and it's so screwed. But what you just saw was them looting stores because it was legal for them to do so as long as they didn't take, well, at the time, it was a single thing that was $950 or more. Now it's a bunch of things that can be counted in aggregate over the course of 1 year. So it's allowed still, just, you're not allowed to do it as much.
extensive looting in Philadelphia. Protesters there also vandalized the statue of former Mayor Police Commissioner Frank Rizzo in front of the city's Municipal Services Building, as seen in live aerials from CNN affiliate KYW. Philadelphia police say protests at City Hall and the Art
White
Museum
silence is white. This is when they started demonizing white people for being white.
Criminal acts, including vandalism, said authorities. Aerial footage from CNN affiliate
See, this is the stuff that you
WLS
didn't see happen when Charlie Kirk was actually assassinated.
Police vehicles, some throwing water bottles at police officers in riot gear, while others
Just saying.
were seen lifting police barricades.
The whole
and
it's
throwing
both
them at
sides
police
thing is
cars.
bullshit.
At a press conference last night, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said that she had been engaged.
I love this. Lori Lightfoot is so funny to me. She looks like a goblin. Like, how is she? There's no way that she is a real person. There is no way.
The past 6 hours
She's a koala in a human costume, man.
in, quote, watching a tragedy unfold in our city, what started out as a peaceful protest.
See that
has
right
now
there. As soon
developed
as you get on
into
top of the
criminal
police
conduct.
car, arrested
In
immediately.
Washington, D.C., U.S. Secret Service police.
As soon as you
vehicles
start
near the
doing
White
that, that's
House were
vandalism of federal
vandalized by
property, and
protesters
that's
with
also
graffiti
arrested.
seen in video shot by
That,
CNN.
you probably get
In
shot.
another incident, a fire could
if
be
I'm
seen
just being
burning
honest.
behind the historic Hay Adams Hotel near the White House. In Atlanta, members of the National Guard gathered at Lenox Square Mall after the police department said that it would be assisted by about 20 other agencies to monitor activity and protect retail centers. In downtown, the Atlanta Police Department said one of their officers appears to have been struck by someone riding an ATV and sustained significant injuries as a result. The Georgia governor signed an executive order on Saturday night authorizing the activation of up to 3,000 National Guard troops statewide. Kemp.
Yeah, and the majority of these quote-unquote protesters, which we know now a lot of them were paid fucking actors, but the majority of these protests were part of two groups. You had the Black Lives Matter group, which is relatively peaceful, but still a nuisance, we'll say, in society, and there were definitely extremists on that side. In fact, I think the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing was a Black Lives Matter thing. It might not have been, but... and then we have the Antifa side of things, the anti-fascist side of things that were there protesting because of the police violence, not because of the racial death, right? So, like, you have Black Lives Matter there because the guy was black that ended up ODing. And then you had Antifa there, who is another organization, that were there because it was a white cop that did it, right? So they were able to find some common ground and come together, and that's what actually blew up Antifa in terms of an actual organization, and also Black Lives Matter. Now, we've come to find out since then that there have been a lot of like fraud and things that happened in both of those organizations. In fact, there was some special stuff that happened with Antifa specifically, but we're going to cover that later in this video. Let's just say they're not nice people, and the U.S. government recognizes that. This is the kind of crap that didn't happen, like I said, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is the kind of crap that didn't happen when Irina Zarutska was fucking killed on a
Calling for
train.
the activation in advance of several planned protests on Sunday. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine activated the Ohio National Guard to respond to protests.
This
in
was
Columbus,
back when it
according
was
to
still
release
Twitter.
from his office.
Oh man, this was a long
Columbus
time
City
ago.
Council President Shannon Hardin
Well, it
says
feels like it
she
probably
and
wasn't that
Democratic
long.
U.S. Representative Joyce Beatty of Ohio were among those sprayed during a protest in Columbus Saturday morning. Beatty tweeted a photo sequence of the incident.
Well, it's okay, because at the time they were like
Lewis
triple
releasing
and
a
quadruple
statement
masked,
Saturday
right?
night saying he understands protesters' pain, but he called on them to refrain from rioting. I know your pain, your rage, your sense of despair and hopelessness. Justice has, indeed, been denied for too long. Rioting, looting, and burning is not the way. Organize, demonstrate, sit in,
This is the way.
stand up, vote, be constructive, not destructive. History has proven time and again that nonviolent, peaceful protest is the way to achieve the justice and equality that we all deserve.
Ahead of what will likely be another wave of demonstrations.
Okay, I'm not really sure that I necessarily agree with that last thing that he said. I mean, there's been a lot of things, sure, that have been done peacefully, but the Civil War was not peaceful, and that was able to bring the most amount of equality, if I'm just being honest.
Any of those peaceful demonstrators simply move away from anybody that might be appearing to actually provoke police. Authorities want to focus on them instead, and not the peaceful protesters, Victor and Christy. It's really the message that we're hearing across the country from law enforcement officers.
Paulo Sandoval.
Yeah, it's almost like we arrest people that breaks the law. It's fucking crazy, right? And you would think that this would be a kind of a reaching across the aisle type of situation, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what side of the political aisle you're on. You shouldn't be for violence in the streets of the United States. You shouldn't be for violence on members of the political opposition. But that's not what we see. At least that's not what we see from the Democratic Party of America, because at the time, here, I'll show you as soon as it goes over to there. At the time, the Democrats were all about grandstanding on the fact that George Floyd was quote-unquote killed, right? So this here is the Democrats taking a knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which is a symbolic number because that's the amount of time that the police officer's knee was on George Floyd, which we can talk about, you know, positioning of that knee and stuff like that, but regardless, I mean, it's fucking grandstanding. They don't actually give a crap about this. Like, and the fact that they did it for 8 minutes and 46 seconds was just to pander to their fucking audience.
We gather in honor of those Americans and so many others.
And look at this. They're all wearing, like, cultural Is this not cultural appropriation? Cancel these people, man. What are we doing? Why are they allowed to do this?
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Botham Jean, Terrence Crutcher, Jordan Davis, Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott.
Right now, she's naming off the names of people that attacked police officers and were killed for it. I don't know about Breonna Taylor, but I know that her, with all those other people, definitely.
Tamir Rice, Michael.
I'm pretty sure with the Breonna Taylor thing, they broke into her house and they were looking for her boyfriend or something like that, and then she got hit with a stray bullet, or I don't really know how it went necessarily.
Brown, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. Any other names? Members wish?
Sean Bell.
My constituents said these things before I walked in here, so I got to make sure this name was said.
Quentin Davis. Freddie Gray.
Alphon Taylor.
They already said those. Dude, I don't know if you guys have ever taken a knee on a hard floor like this, but it is not as fun as it looks. And doing it for 8 minutes probably sucks. Not for these women. They're used to being on their knees. I mean, look at their position they're in. But, you know, for all these guys here. Yeah, so it goes on like that for 8 solid fucking minutes, which is insane. But that's just... I don't know why they did it. I mean, well, I know why they did it. But it's funny to look back on it and just go, wow, the amount of things that they are willing to do just to make themselves look good in front of their fucking audience is insane. Like, these guys have no morals, and they're trying to have some right now. But this is here to remind you that they don't have that, okay? The whole both sides argument is total bullshit. And like I said earlier, during this whole time period, there were people that were fucking flat out encouraging it, but there were whole organizations that were blocking off, like, city blocks in order to form their own little autonomous zone, we'll call it. Okay, so this is from Fox News. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, this is from Fox News. Portland protesters create new autonomous zone by pitching tents, rebuilding barricades removed by police. Okay, so the police came in and they swept out the autonomous zone because you're not supposed to have that in the United States. But they did. I want to give this time to load before I start doing anything. So yeah, they came in, they swept it out, and then the protesters came back and rebuilt the barricades and said, no, screw you, we don't recognize your authority, blah, 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 blah. And the Democratic politicians just allowed this. I mean, the Republicans were calling it exactly what it was. I mean, a fucking insurrection, a whole separatist movement. But the Democrats were saying, no, they should be allowed to do this. This is just a protest, blah, 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 blah. For whatever reason, whenever they're arguing for stuff that the Democrats want, that it's just a protest, regardless of the amount of buildings that get burned to the ground, regardless of the amount of police officers that get bricks hurled at their head, regardless of the amount of businesses that get just ransacked and looted, and don't make the argument that, oh, they're just taking the things that they need because they're an impoverished society. No, they are absolutely not, okay? They are not impoverished society. They are not just taking the things that they need. When you run in, you grab an armful of Doritos and run out, you're not grabbing what you need. You're just grabbing shit because you know that you can get away with it. And I don't like that. This is taking forever to load, man. Alright, what do we got? Riots are called as unrest grows in Portland. Yep. Let's look at this. They create their own autonomous... Oh, yeah, so,
On Fox 1, now you can stream your favorite live sports. So you can be there live for moments like these.
oh no.
Fox 1, streaming
A couple pages
now.
aren't responding, but that's okay. We're gonna do what we gotta do. Okay, the police department took to Twitter to declare a riot amid protests outside the city's police union headquarters. That's what that says. Okay, so the Portland Police Department took to Twitter to declare a riot amid protests outside the city's police station. Many are not dispersing per the lawful order. They are subject to arrest, force, tear gas, or impact weapons. Leave now. Yeah, that means they're doing whatever they can to not hurt you. Some of the items thrown at police officers, including paint, ball bearings. Yeah, no, I told you, they were hurling shit at police officers' head. A riot has been declared. Everyone needs to disperse immediately and leave to the east. By the way, they said that because the wind was blowing west and they didn't want people to run into tear gas. Criminal conduct may subject you to arrest, citation, or use of force, including but not limited to riot control agents and impact gear. Okay, so everyone that's there, they know. The paper reported that police formed a line and the crowd chanted George Floyd and quit your job. Because of course it did. Okay, maybe this is the one I was trying to look at earlier. So here's what I was talking about earlier. This is the confusion reigns as Seattle seized 6 blocks known as Chaz, reportedly changes name to CHOP, and says we're not trying to secede. Yeah, let's find out. Hopefully this one works for us. I mean,
it's more like a
sorry about
pedestrian
that.
street festival of sorts. You have folks, these restaurants are open, there's couches in the middle of the road, there's gardening taking place.
The autonomous zone has turned into an almost street fair-like atmosphere.
So like I said, this was like a whole autonomous area that they tried to build separate from the U.S., so they tried to have their own infrastructure and grow their own food and things like that, but then they realized that it's a little bit more difficult to do that than you might think. And when you're not getting resupplied by stuff from the United States because you decided to be your own thing, you're going to run out of food very quickly. And honestly, that's how it happened. Because they were there for like 2 weeks and they were done.
Atmosphere with free food, art displays, and outdoor movie nights.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of looks like a street festival. Look behind me. You can see
It was not a
all
street
these people
festival.
in the street.
Many in the media downplaying Seattle's cop-free autonomous zone as just a street festival. But is that a fair analysis? Let's bring in Media Buzz host Howie Kurtz to shed some light on that coverage. Howie, good morning to you.
You guys remember the mostly peaceful protests guy? Where he's standing in, and I think it was CNN actually, but he was doing live coverage of the George Floyd quote-unquote protests. And there was a whole car on fire behind him. And he goes, well, it's a little fiery, but mostly peaceful. I mean, some people have started a fire in the middle of the road, just a small campfire to keep warm. It's quite cold out. Oh, my God. This is Let's Go Brandon all over again, dude. They're just making believe this shit is not happening, and it definitely did. And we all know it, and we're all looking back on it right now, retrospectively, just to remind ourselves how fucking retarded you are before I show them that you are encouraging terrorism in this country.
Good morning, Griff.
Howie, what do you make of this? I mean, is it Coachella or is it something different?
Well, it's certainly not a festival. I mean, I have really been struck.
No festival,
in
not
reading
one.
the accounts of this, how so many in the media are painting the autonomous zone in Seattle as some kind of summer of love, Haight-Ashbury 1967 kind of situation. What's being left out, and by the way, I thought the report that you just aired about it is 99% peaceful, and we're grateful for that, was very fair. What's being left out is the police chief has been saying in interviews, and some have reported this and many have kind of brushed it off, that when problems emerge, the response times for the police to be able to get there and deal with it is about triple of what it would be normally. And the fact that, the police have ceded this 6 or 7 block area to the protesters.
I told you guys, I brought this up in the beginning, right? Well, if they weren't just outright allowing it, they were being told to stand down. Like, it was fucking crazy. They wanted there to be as much unrest as possible.
It just seems to me the media, many I should say, are invested in the notion that this is just a kumbaya moment for the city of Seattle, when obviously the police have voluntarily ceded control of that area.
Yeah, that police chief, Carmen Best, there seems to be just pleading, while the mayor out there, Jenny Durkan, seems to really be supporting them. And it doesn't seem like there's a good resolution coming to that right now. But I want to talk to you about what you've got coming up today, and that is what you say is a crisis in journalism, particularly looking at the social justice warriors in newsrooms versus true journalism.
Oh, yeah, because journalists are the only ones allowed.
Buzz will be talking with Chris Wallace.
Because journalists, card-carrying journalists, are the only ones that are allowed to have commentary on anything. And they are the arbiters of truth, and we should not question them.
And we'll be talking with other guests as well about what I do see as a full-blown crisis. Because, there have been complaints about liberal bias for years. I think
it's not just you, buddy. Like, it's all fucking... It's an absolute crisis.
What I see now is an ingrained newsroom culture that doesn't want to allow opinions on the other side to be aired. We had the incident at the New York Times that led to the ouster of editorial page editor James Bennett over that Tom Cotton op-ed. Because there was a revolt in the newsroom that said, we don't think this should be published even online. You had the editor of the Philadelphia Inquirer being ousted over one bad headline that was apologized for. And I think a lot of this, Griff, started with the negative coverage of candidate Trump and President Trump. This is bigger than Trump and his presidency. But I think a lot of journalists said, well, we have to put aside the old rule book because this is just too important. Trump must be stopped. He's a danger to democracy.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. He's not a danger to democracy or the republic or anything like that. He's a danger to the system that has propped up the Democratic Party for fucking 50 years. He's a danger to the amount of money that's getting funneled into the private media companies and then lining the pockets of these activist journalists that will just say whatever they're told to say. They just read off of a teleprompter, and that's it. They're a talking head, and they get their pockets lined by the federal government, who's just trying to push propaganda. Which, by the way, was made legal again under the Obama administration when they redid the National Defense Budget Act for 2013. They literally redid the Smith-Munn Act, where it allowed them to disseminate propaganda that is designed for foreign use among the American people. I'm just saying.
And all of that. Once you take that step, then when it comes to racial matters, which are difficult to cover, when it comes...
You guys would know all this if you've been watching me. My streams have not necessarily the best quality because I'm not very experienced in this, but they do get better and better as I go. And if you've been watching me, or at least listen to the content that I have, you'll know all of this, everything that I'm saying, because I've covered all of it before. Definitely follow me on Kick. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. And if you don't like YouTube, definitely go to Rumble and follow me there. And if you don't like Rumble, definitely go back to YouTube because I'm everywhere. And you can follow me on X too at @real_Cestal. That'd be cool.
To protests,
I'm building a community. Come join me. I'm fun. I am a good person to talk to, I think.
It is easy to say, well, the agenda should come first, and I don't believe that.
All right, Howie Kurtz.
I don't either. The agenda should absolutely not be coming first, but it fucking is for some reason. Oh, before I just scroll past it like it's not there. This is the degeneracy that we're dealing with. Do you see this bullshit? Like, children, avert your eyes, because this is not, like, what is this? Why? I don't know if this is at a protest or if this is at a LGBTQIALMNOPXYZ fucking rally, but it's disgusting. Okay, absolute gross. Okay, all right. Where are we? Here we go. This man is Jay Jones. He is the Virginia Attorney General candidate for the current year. He is currently running for the Attorney General in Virginia. He was caught speeding at 116 miles per hour. And we're going to read this crap about him on X because I thought it was funny. So this person says pure terrorism right here. Let's find out. Jay Jones, really bad week, just got even worse. In addition to Jay Jones being exposed for wanting to shoot a Republican leader in the head and watch his kids die, it's now alleged that he wanted cops to be murdered in order to change how they police. Oh boy. What else did they say? This is probably AI. I don't think that he actually had a sign like this, so I'm not gonna cover that. These are fucking interesting though. Dear Virginia, protect your children. And the reason that I'm going to go over this is because of what the next thing is. Because the next thing is just like some text messages. I think it's between him and her. This woman wants men in your daughter's bathrooms and volleyball games. So she's protecting trans rights. Which, by the way, if you're not a man, you're not a man. If you're not a woman, you are not a woman. No amount of hormone therapy or cosmetic surgery is going to change that. Just period. This one wants your daughter dead if you run against him. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Now, so what does this say exactly? They say nice things about everyone. Lol. So this is her talking to Jay. So the white one is Jay. Okay? If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves. Send them out awash in something. Are you fucking kidding me? Even if you don't like them, why? 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert is the guy that he's running against. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Oh my god. Is it just because you're running against him? Is it because he was is a Republican? I mean, why would you shoot him over Hitler? I mean, you clearly hate Trump, and you're calling him Hitler, so Hitler's got to be the worst thing for you. Why is it just the guy that's running against you that's so bad? I mean, I'm just being honest. She even says, she's like, Jay, please stop. Lol, okay, fine, I'll stop. It really bothers me when you talk about hurting people. You're wishing death on them. I genuinely was. That's what he says. He admits it right there. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. You fucking kidding me? Oh my god. You weren't trying to understand anything. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Even if this isn't the same conversation as this one over here, this dude says you're hoping her children would die, and he says, yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain, personally, do they move on policy. Okay, so let's kill her children. Why the fuck not? I don't agree with her policy, so let's kill her children. Okay. This guy seems pretty crazy, and I don't think he should be the Attorney General of any fucking thing. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Follow me on X at real_Sestel. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Rumble if you don't like YouTube. Yeah, absolutely follow me here on Kick too, and join the community. Okay, I'm right about everything. Just trust me. Okay, trust me. In the very same way that you don't trust the government, trust me. Okay, put all of that trust you're not giving the government, give that to me. I will take it. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.